fact that you think about them all the time, that you nonstop. I jumped out of a plane with Rachel Ray. Is she here? Rachel Ray is a fucking gangster. Like, legit She comes in, I do her show, she comes backstage at like 8 in the morning, she's got a pint of Guinness, a bowl of chili with a fried egg on top. Oh. She comes back, she goes, I know you're a comic, I thought a beer might loosen you up before the show. I don't know if you like a chili with an egg. I'm like, As she hands it to me, she goes, what's one thing you'd never do on your show, Bert the Conqueror? I have a show, Bert the Conqueror, where I do extreme activities. She goes, thank you, yeah, thank you. She goes, what's one thing you'd never do? And I had an answer, it's skydiving. I go, I know, I never go skydiving. She goes, really? I go, never, I don't want to go. She goes, awesome, I'll see you out on stage. I was like, oh, I wonder why she asked that. I get out on the stage, and the first thing she says to the crowd is, all right, backstage, Bert said he'd never go skydiving. I'm like, bitch, that was a secret. She's like, who wants to see him do it? And now I have 500 women going, do it, fat boy. And I got the beer in me, the chili. I'm like, fuck it, let's go. 2 weeks later, I'm strapped to a dude. You know that's how you skydive? Just strapped to a dude in a prison rape harness. That's how you skydive. And he tells you when to walk, when to sit. It is massively emasculating. Has anyone ever been skydiving in here? You've been. And so you get in the plane and you're sitting in a dude's lap. You're sitting, your Navy SEAL moment, and you're sitting in a dude's lap. And I start shaking because I'm nervous. I'm like freaking out. And he can feel me because I realize as we go to taxi, I haven't flown sober in 20 years. Sober in a big plane in 20 years, and I haven't flown in a dude's lap in 42. And he feels me shaking, and he's like, what's the matter? I go, what do you mean, what's the matter? I go, I'm nervous. He goes, about what? What do you mean about what? He goes, what are you nervous? What are you afraid of? I go, I don't know. You'll get hard. You'll get hard, that'll trigger me. I'll get hard. We'll both get hard, then we'll jump out of the plane. Our chute won't open, and that's how two backpackers will find us. You fucking me into the earth. You fucking me into the planet. That'll be the how I go. This guy craved dick so bad. He had a man harness him up and fuck him out of his shoes until his head exploded in the woods. I go, I'm nervous, our chute won't open. He goes, you couldn't kill us if you tried. I'm like, I'm a smart guy, I could fucking figure it out. I lean over to Rachel and I grab her leg, just grab her leg and I start squeezing. She goes, what's the matter? I go, I don't want to do this. She goes, I think you're doing it. She's like, you're at the front of the tube of toothpaste, everyone's out behind, you're definitely going. I go, no, I don't want to. And she goes, look, and now the engines kick in and she starts yelling at me. She goes, look, you'll be fine. Whatever you do not watch me go out the door. You will freak the fuck out. I'm like, who taught you how to talk someone off a ledge? We get up to our cruising altitude. Her and her dude get up perfectly, like Danny and Sandy, just wop, bam, loom, wop, bam, boom. She posts up at the door, looks me in the eyes, does her read, one take to camera. I'm Rachel Ray, I'm at 13,000 feet with Bert the Conqueror, we're about to jump on an airplane. Who's ready? Who? Yummo or whatever. And then fucking, let's go. And then looks at me and goes, Bert. I'm like, yeah. She goes, don't watch this. And they get sucked out of the fucking plane. And I have panic shoot out of my asshole. I grab onto the cameraman who's not wearing a parachute. There's an open door at 13,000 feet, and as soon as I touch him, he just starts kicking me. Get off me, asshole! Sound guy posts up in the corner with the boom like a gladiator. Get him down! Get him down! My guy just takes over and baby Bjorns me. Huh? Here we go. Takes me to the corner, and I lock in. I go, I'm having second thoughts. He's like, we're going in 3. I'm like, I'm not hard yet. We're going in 2, and I was like, you go by yourself, I'll meet you down there. And then he says, oh my God, what's wrong with your straps? I'm like, what? Whoosh. And we go screaming to the earth at 100 miles an hour. This guy's in my ear like, do you want to catch up with Rachel? I'm like, fuck her, she's dead to me. It is It is an epiphanous moment, dare I say. And my therapist says I have a low threshold for epiphanous moments, but. And I always say, like, did you want to go skydiving? Okay, the people that don't want to go skydiving are who should go skydiving. It's those that don't want to go that appreciate it the most. You go and you're just Viking all the way. Ah! People who don't want to go, there's a moment where you realize the dice have been rolled. There's nothing you can do to change this. You're either gonna live or die in 5 minutes, and you can't take a pill or start working out to stop it. It is out of your control, and you are forced with a decision. How do you meet your maker? Do you go out like a Viking? Ah! Or do you start crying like a baby? Ah! Oh, I picked the Viking. At that moment, I said, I've had a beautiful life. Let's do it. Ah! Until the chute opened, then I started crying aggressively. Like bad, like in a dude's lap. Have you ever cried in a man's lap? Have you ever had a man take you out to the middle of a field and sit in your lap and just sob silently? That's technically what I'm doing to this poor guy. Because the first thing I thought of was, my kids, I'm gonna get to see my kids again. And pizza, like I get pizza. And I just started sobbing under this canopy, and the poor guy's like, dude, it's gonna be okay. Like, we did it. It was so bad when we went to land, he's like, clean yourself up. They're gonna think I did something to you. And the lasting thought that stuck with me was my children. That's it. I go, my children, they have a dad? Like, that, what? That is not what I signed up for when I picked my wife out of a bowling alley. Like, that makes no sense. We met at a bowling alley.